Hi, this is once again Teacher Rika, your math teacher. Today we will talk about multiplication of monomials. So these materials are extracted from the LRMDS modules. Now let's have a review first. If we're given y cubed, y is called the base and 3 is the exponent. So the exponent tells how many times the base is multiplied by itself. For example, if you're given a to the fifth, that means a is multiplied 5 times by itself. That's a times a times a times a times a. If we're given negative 2 cube, that means we have to multiply negative 2 3 times by itself, which is negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. And if we're given 5w to the fourth, that means 5w times 5w times 5w times 5w. How do we multiply monomials with one variable? For example, if we're given y to the fifth times y cubed, that means for the first factor, there are 5 y's, and for the second factor, there are 3 y's. So when you combine the two, let's count the number of y's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. So there are 8 y's, which is y raised to 8. Now, if we're given b squared times b cubed times b, how many b's are there? So 2 b's for the first factor, and then 3 b's for the second factor, and then there's 1 b. So if we combine, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 b's, which is equal to b to the sixth. The exponent of the product is equal to the sum of the exponent of the factors. So if we will try to apply that, y to the fifth times y cubed is equal to y raised to 5 plus 3, and 5 plus 3 is 8. B squared times b cubed times b, that's b raised to 2 plus 3 plus 1, which is b to the sixth. Now, how do we multiply if there's numerical coefficients? For example, 2c to the fourth times 7c to the ninth. So what you have to do is to multiply the numerical coefficients 2 times 7 and then add the exponents of the literal coefficient. You have to make sure that the literal coefficients have the same variable. So if it's c, then the other should also be c. So that's 2 times 7 times c raised to 4 plus 9. 2 times 7 is 14. 4 plus 9 is 13. So the final answer is 14c raised to 13. If we're given negative 6g squared times g to the fourth times 3g, so the numerical coefficients of the first is negative 6. Now there's an invisible 1 here times 1. And then we have 3 here times 3. And then add the exponents of g, 2 plus 4, and there's an invisible 1 there, plus 1. So negative 6 times 1 times 3 is negative 18. 2 plus 4 plus 1 is 7. So we got negative 18g raised to 7. So multiply the numerical coefficients and multiply the literal coefficients by adding the exponents of the factors. How about if there's more than one variable? For example, negative 2a squared b to the fourth times 5a to the fourth b raised to 7. So what we have to do is to multiply again the numerical coefficients, negative 2 times 5, and then combine terms or combine the same variables. So for a, we have the exponents 2 and then 4, so you add that. And then for b, we have the exponents 4 plus 7. So you add the exponents, multiply the numerical coefficients. We got negative 2 times 5, that's negative 10. Then we got 2 plus 4 for a, so that's 6. And then 4 plus 7 for b, which is 11. 6x cubed y squared z times negative x to the fifth y to the 10th z raised to 8 times negative 7x squared y to 11th z to the 9th. So what we have to do is to multiply the numerical coefficients here. The first is 6, then we have negative 1, and then negative 7. And then add the exponents for each variable. So we have 3, 5, and then 2 for x. So this one. And then we have 2, 10, and then 11 for y. And then we have 1 here that's invisible, 8 and 9 for z. Okay, so 6 times negative 1 times negative 7 will give us 42. X raised to 3 plus 5 plus 2 is 10. Y raised to 2 plus 10 plus 11 will give us 23 as an exponent. And z raised to 1 plus 8 plus 9 is 18. So this is the final answer. Let's have some practice. What is w squared times w raised to 10? So what we have to do is simply to add the exponents because they have w as the variable. They are just the same. So w squared is the answer. Negative d raised to 6 times 2d raised to 17. So that's negative 1 times 2 for the numerical coefficients. And then we have d raised to 6 plus 17. We'll get negative 2 times d, or negative 2d raised to 23. V raised to 9 times negative 8, v raised to 4 times negative 7, v cubed. So multiply the numerical coefficients. First, 1 times negative 8 times negative 7, and then add the exponents of v, 9 plus 4 plus 3. So we'll get 56v raised to 13. Raised to 16, I mean. For the fourth one, 2m squared n to the fifth times 9m raised to 6 n raised to 11. So multiply 2 and 9, and then add the exponents of m, 2 plus 6. Add the exponents of n, 5 plus 11. So we'll get 18 m raised to 8 n raised to 16. And then if we have negative p raised to 13, q raised to 14, r raised to 21 times negative p raised to 14, q raised to 7, r raised to 6 times negative q raised to 25 times r raised to 11. So we have the numerical coefficients here, negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1. And then add the exponents of p, 13, 14, and then 25. Add the exponents of q, 14, 7, and for p, you only have 13 and 14. For q, we have 14, 7, and 25. And then for r, we have 21, 6, and 11. So if we will add the exponents of each variable, negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1 will get negative 1 for the numerical coefficients, or for the numerical coefficient. 13 plus 14, that's 27, the exponent of p. 14 plus 7 plus 25, that's the exponent of q, which is 46. 21 plus 6 plus 11, that's the exponent of r, which is 38. So here's the activity. If you would like to answer it, you can pause the video. So that ends our lesson about multiplication of monomials. I hope you have learned something today. And don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell to get notified for the next videos. Thank you, and see you for the next lesson.